to play Uno, please.
I'm going to sit there when the fire starts.
Picture, quick. Where's Sasha? Oh, Sasha out.
Having completed a vertical manoeuvre, rolling onto the A axis. This glider is the PIC 20, the D, with a wingspan of 15 metres. Constructed of glass fibre. It's very strong due to its carbon fibre wing, capable of speeds up to 185 miles an hour. In good soaring conditions, it's possible to fly in excess of 500 kilometres. They've had them at heights greater than 25,000 feet, but it is lousy in rain and dust. I'm being accused of buzzing, but I think it might be air traffic. We'll try and find a better signal area. Alan started gliding, gosh, about 30 odd years ago, 1972, when he joined the Kent Gliding Club at Challock. Became a gliding instructor in 78, chief flying instructor in 95. His wife also in the business, Julie, she's a glider pilot, regularly take their gliders aboard for cross-country flying, including mountain flying in Spain. Now that's got to be a bit exciting in a glider. And also knows she's airborne at the moment in one of the turbs because she's part of the Thai Club display team in the turb teams. I was wondering where he was. Oh. Huh, watch out behind the trees. Don't watch in the sun, watch the trees. So energy has to be managed throughout the display so the pilot can achieve the desired manoeuvres. Conditions on the day can greatly affect the display. A very polished aerobatic display. A very polished and accomplished glider pilot. Alan Garside from the Kent Gliding Club of Challet and also from the Tiger Club. You can see the little air brakes, the spoilers on the top of the wing, just dumping as much lift as possible. Those will go in and out, just to get down, get rid of a lot of the energy to touch down here in front of them. There they are, popped up. You can see how much of a rate of descent that really gives you. Just after touchdown, you'll probably pop them out again. You can, it's all right.
I am breaking at the moment after that interview.
Clattering away, it started up.
So if our SC-5 pilot runs out of ammunition, during the First World War he would have to have undone his lap strap, held the stick between his knees, stood up, pulled the Lewis gun down into the cockpit, changed the drum of ammunition, while still maintaining control of the aeroplane, pushed the drum back up, pushed the gun back up, got back into his seat. Aircraft factory. SE stands for Stout Experimental. During the First World War, the term fighter wasn't used for a fighting aircraft. They were known as Scouts. It's half back to the days when they didn't carry guns, they were purely used for artillery observation. Either way, they had good altitude performance. They could climb in excess of 15,000 feet. Drop out due to engine problems or some sort of malfunction. Bearing in mind these aircraft were flying and fighting in 1917 and 1918. Really, flight was in its infancy, and the men who flew these aircraft were true knights of the air. Chivalry, and the idea that these were not so much aircraft but chargers. In fact, the French took that to the nth degree. And the SC-5A was predominantly used for air-to-air work during the First World War for dogfighting and escorting bombers. A number of aircraft were hit and pilots were killed by ground fire. And recently, of course, it's understood that von Richthofen was hit by ground fire, and that was what brought him down. Flying an SC-5A, like the one we see in front of us, crippled CL-1, pulled away, select, kill the German. Three training aeroplanes get airborne. There are two more lining up. Our next trio of aircraft, in fact, will be the Stearman, the Boeing PT-17, and Peak Hindi in the Tiger Moth. Both aircraft designed to do exactly the same job. One designed in America, one designed in Great Britain. Both aircraft trained the pilots that would later go on to fly it. All of the military types used by the Allies during World War II, right from the Spitfire, Hurricane and Mustang up to the Lancaster. Again, an interwar training aeroplane, originally designed as a sort of, well, I suppose, executive jet of its day. After the Tiger Moth, the Miles Magister. Immediately in front of you, the Stinson Gullwing. This was, as I said, originally designed as a 4 or 5 seat commercial monoplane. The brainchild who was the owner of the Stinson Aeroplane Company. It was used for a number of purposes after it was put into production in the late 1930s, and was since Reliant SR, built by the Americans for the British during World War II. Various different improved models with the SR1 and the SR6, still called the Reliant, universally known as the Gull Wing, and as we see that past there, we can see why. Repatriated to the United States and put on the commercial market. So much so that if you get it very slow and you get it into an aerodynamic stall, which means essentially that the wings stop producing lift, the aircraft will recover simply by you taking your hands and feet off the controls. And that is very, very unusual for an aircraft of this big. Most aircraft require quite definite inputs to recover from a stall, so it shows it is a very gentle and a very forgiving aircraft, and that increases the usefulness of this type. So slow pass now, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of side slip on and his flaps down. Straightening up now. This is the aircraft getting slow speed or landing configuration. This example, her military number being T9738, served with numbers 24 and number 15, Elementary Flight Training School, and spent most of her civilian life in France. She was developed from the Hawk trainer. The RAF put out a tender for a training aeroplane. Training right the way through the war, and were also used as squadron hacks. Although the cruise is about 107. Magisters were phased out of service with the Royal Air Force in 1945, and with the Fleet Air Arm, the last was disbanded and struck off the register in 1945. As I said, only 3 surviving today. We're very lucky to have this aircraft here. From the right, ladies and gentlemen, the Stearman and the Tiger Moth. As I said earlier on, the Stearman and the Tiger Moth, both designed just before World War II to fulfill a training function. The Tiger Moth was the development of the earlier de Havilland Moth, which was very similar in appearance. The RAF took one to evaluate, and there were 2 things they didn't like. One of them was the fact that there was very poor visibility over the engine. The second was the fact that the chap in the front cockpit couldn't bail out if need be because the wing was right above him. So de Havilland simply pushed the top wing forward a little bit to create the stagger that we see today and turned the engine upside down. And that's why you can see the propeller hub is at the top of the engine cowling and the cylinders are inverted below it. And that created the DH-82, which led on to the DH-82A. So here we see Golf Alpha Charlie Delta Charlie, the de Havilland Tiger Moth, the flagship aircraft of the Tiger Club, based at Heghorn Aerodrome. He'll be displaying the Corsair for us later on this afternoon. This aircraft was built in 1933. She was the 3rd Tiger Moth to roll off the production line at Hatfield, and she's the oldest regularly flying Tiger Moth in the world today. While she has huge historical importance as being the regularly operating Tiger Moth, she's not a museum piece, she's a working aeroplane. She's available for trial lessons and for private pilot's license training or for tail wheel conversion training at Headcorn. I learned to fly the Tiger Moth last year, soloed it last June. I had a fantastic time taking people up and letting them enjoy open cockpit 1930s flying. Right now, a number of you may have seen the utterly butterly display team with the young ladies strapped to the top wings of aircraft. Those are PT-17 Stearman. They're very well-known aircraft. They've featured in a number of films, right from episodes of The A-Team to North by Northwest. They're commonly portrayed as crop dusters after World War II, just as the gull wings were used as feeder airliners. Tiger Moths were used by private owners. So the Stearmans, or a number of surplus Stearmans were bought. Then contact the Tiger Club at Headcorn, do a Google search for the Tiger Club. She is available for private hire after you've done the required training for private pilot, along with her schedule. Used to the feel of an aeroplane, flying an aeroplane, the stick and rudder work. And once they'd mastered flying these aircraft, they would move on through the Empire Air Training Plan or the US Air Force Training Plan onto an aircraft like the Harvard or the Vultee, something with retractable undercarriage, flaps, variable pitch propeller, all a bit more complicated, a bit heavier, a bit faster. And once they've mastered that, complete their training and be allocated to an operational support group, be allocated to a conversion unit. You just convert onto a heavy aircraft like the Lancaster or the Halifax, or onto a fighter like the Spitfire we see here, Mustangs, Hurricanes, really whatever they were asked to fly. So Dave now demonstrating the aerobatic abilities of the Stearman in a loop. Nice gentle manoeuvres. And Dave's just called last pass now to land, so get your cameras ready for this, the last pass of the Boeing Stearman. With the chipmunks hovering somewhere around, I'll hand you back to Strat Ritchie, who'll tell you a little bit about them.
Entered service with the Royal Air Force in the 50s. And they're a fun aircraft to fly. They're considerably more civilised than the Tiger Moth. After all, they've got brakes, they've got flaps, closed cockpit. All the luxuries of one man. That's a nice formation change. And they look good, they sound good. As I said, the Chipmunk replaced the de Havilland Tiger Moth as the elementary training aircraft for the Royal Air Force. Also in the same role for the Royal Navy and the Army Air Corps.
Dad, we don't have eyes like that.
It is a pretty sound sight. Team flies a series of formations throughout the routine, transition from echelon, line and stern, brakes, back to line and stern, etc. He tells me that yesterday he flew his first solo in the historic aircraft collection, Hurricane.
Oh,
There's still first solos to be done.
We saw a Harley, we saw two Harley Davidsons.
when?
So from Spitfire to Hurricane to Chipmunk.
Really?
Chipmunk in the lead is Golf Bravo X-ray Delta India. Number 2 aircraft, Clive Denny. Clive's been working on a range of restoration projects over the years, many years in fact, with his wife Linda. New to the air display world. Give you a very tight, good formation, new to the display world. All right, very excellent. The position in between that. Absolutely perfect.
He went
It looks easy, but believe me, it is not easy.
Jade, isn't they?
He's been training with Alan Clive this year. He's got his DA in May, display authorisation, which every display pilot has to have by the campaign against Civil Aviation Authority.
You hear from an adult. No. Middle lazy.
He's flying Golf Alpha Oscar Sierra Yankee. Oh, the CA's here. I felt this dark cloud.
It's here.
Oh!
I do not know.
Here's Chipmunk, based on the road in Seavey. His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales learned to fly on chipmunks. In fact, that chipmunk still exists. You can always tell it when it turns up at airfield. It's got an extra large rotating beacon behind the canopy. When it was sold by the Royal Air Force to the civilians, it had to go through all sorts of major mods and improvements to make it safe for us mere civilians after His Royal Highness, first in line of the flown it.
Brought me over.
Side Denny.
Came straight across the road.
Nice, gentle loop. Oh, right, yeah, another one. More energy. Very pretty. Any more energy, Clive? Oh, yes. A little bit more. Sun glinting off the canopy and the wings. Very pretty. Nicely positioned, right in the centre of the display line, at the on display centre. Well, 2 loops and a roll. I'm about to be attacked by the Honda display team. Honda display team, you're busy, get going. Enjoy the day. Nice to see you.
Got some water.
So Harold Cook, display leader. The importance of the naval torpedo dive bomber in the Pacific Theatre led to the development of the Douglas destroyer. Into that category. The chosen aircraft was this aircraft, the Douglas 81 Sky Raider. Integrating right engine as a Cyclone 18-cylinder machine up the front. It's got great load carrying capability. The decision not to include the internal combination for weapons resulted in a lightweight, strong airframe, 15 underwing hardpoints, from which a large array of weapons can be used. This enabled deployment in many, many roles, carrying weapons such as bombs, depth charges, mines, napalm, rockets and torpedoes, also armed with a 20mm cannon. And if necessary, is able to launch nuclear weapons. Also able to be deployed as an ambulance in late June the same year, but the time not operational before VJ Day, which I think falls next week, something like that. It's the first couple of weeks in August is VJ Day. 15th of August. Those alpha wing panels, they fold hydraulically for carrier stowage. Forged during the bitter conflict in the Pacific, the Sky Raider was become one of the most useful, valuable weapons in It is big. the ground with the engine running for long. Overheats very, very easily on the ground. You've got to get airborne to do some cooling
Just do it.
Well, I'm not talking over that. What a fantastic noise. The sound of those aircraft as they bowl down the runway on takeoff power. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you gonna be so?
well, more line astern than echelon port, but you get the general idea with their lights on there. Okay, so in echelon formation, ladies and gentlemen, from the left, 3 harbours again. The light blue harbour in the middle is Morris Hammond's 86D Harvard 3, based at Airfield Farm in Hardwick in Norfolk. Morris's Harvard is painted up. Colour schemes of the 100th Bomb Group Squadron Hack, which, as I said earlier, is the aircraft that the pilots use for getting around from A to B. Pilots in this case were B-17 aircrew, based up in East Anglia with the 100th Bomb Group. With the smoke system on now, building up the speed and the power. Up, through the vertical, over the top, G mounting up now, checking on the 45 down, rolling out for the half Cuban. Letting the aeroplane accelerate down the hill.
Oh, bling bling.
And now positioning for a Derry turn, named after John Derry.
Bling bling.
Gonna roll underneath. Derry turn, smoke back on, coming back onto the A-axis, as we call it in aerobatic.
Why do they call it the A-axis? Bling bling.
Pulling up for a nice, slow aileron roll. Showing that these aircraft, although big, heavy and rugged, can be flown very gracefully. And he's going to perform another half Cuban straight ahead. So cameras at the ready, ladies and gentlemen, the 86 Harvard.
Mom, phone.
Dad should be taking pictures.
Dad, take a picture. What is the point of bringing the stupid camera if you're not going to even use it?
Very nice indeed. So from the left, with Phil Shaw leading, Morris and Rob behind, the Harvard Vic of 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the front, Phil trailing smoke in the lead Harvard. Lights on, ready for the Canadian break. And as I say, cameras at the ready. This should be a nice shot.
I'm going to wait till they get a bit nearer.
Yeah. Do it now.
I didn't get all of them in the shower.
Marvellous, that's what we like to see.
I did a
Great break there, managing their energy, slowing the aeroplanes down. Phil's got his wheels down, all of them now, gear down, flaps down, setting the aeroplanes slowed down, set up for landing. So Phil getting the big heavy Harvard down on 3 points.
Be a postcard.
The colours, as I mentioned earlier on Morris's Harvard, are in fact what you would have found painted on the side of the B-17 Flying Fortress, because she was a 100 bomb group hat. They just painted her up as one of their fortresses would have been. So quite a unique colour. And as Morris clears the active runway. Nice and gentle. So ladies and gentlemen, if you will, a round of applause please for the Harvard team. Well, the next item just lining up on the runway is the Cap 232 of Diana Britton. So Diana's airborne. She does get a little bit of height before she starts her display. And that's one way to get a little bit of height. Starting straight off there with a pitch up.
First ever non-commercial pilot who first lady to take the title of the British freestyle champion. And here she is to show exactly why. Pulling straight up into the vertical. I don't have a sequence. I don't think it would help me if I did, because 1, 2 rolls, 3 rolls, now going a bit of knife edge, tumbling, rolling, tumbling end over end. Nothing on the clock but the maker's name. Now, energy coming down, the weight of the engine, bringing it down, the power of the engine. Up she goes, pull, check. Slow rolls, holding it there, speed decay, just hanging, boot full of left rudder, round the stall turn. Gaining speed on the way down, getting speed means energy 1 flick, 2 flick, 3 flick, crisply out on line and just onto the air axis. This is the sort of flying that shows why that she is such a competent aerobatic pilot. She also does a lot of training for future aerobatic pilots and for lady pilots, and she does a competition once a year to train ladies up to this sort of level of aerobatics, but they start off with something considerably easier than this, the Cap 232. Series of wild gyrations on the way down as the turbulent team taxi out turbulently. Pulling out, check. 1 roll. You can see the massive ailerons as she rolls round. Now a bit of push and a stick, tumbling end and end over end. 300 horsepower under that bonnet. Pulling out. Driving away, Diana Britton. Hardly any speed over the top. 56 knots is the stall speed of the 232. Pointing downwards on the 45, gaining energy. Half roll, upside down, another half, right way up. From positive to negative G, stressed aircraft-wise to plus 10 and minus 10 G. Certainly more than I am. Up on the 45, tumble. Whoa. If the stick can go in a corner of the cockpit, well, put it there, see what happens. Seriously disorientating, these sort of aerobatics. Long spin down. Lost count of how many turns. Cruise speed 180 knots. Top speed just over 210 knots. It's got an impressive rate of climb, as we're seeing here. Just about 3,200 odd feet per minute. Oh, flick on the way up. Yeah. Yeah. Straight out on the V-axis. All these sort of aerobatics takes practice, timing and a huge amount of experience to get up to this sort of level. rolling circle, rolling inwards. Constantly rolling to the left, rolling inwards. You can do rolling circles going outwards. Very unpleasant. Round a good quarter of a rolling circle. All these manoeuvres you can write in Arresti, but probably totally impossible to the novice to read and understand. Arresti being the shorthand of aerobatics. Down to a little lower altitude. Put it in the back. Hang in there. Ah, yes. Crisply out on line. Big on the 45 degrees. Someone standing by the PA system with a mobile phone on. Flick and a tumble on the way up. Fuselage is composite wooden and carbon fibre construction. Wings are carbon fibre, keeps the weight down but the strength and stiffness up. Pilots like this type have won many world championships. There's a Monty Barrett prepared engine, various other personalised extras to the 232 to enable Diana to continue to expand a gyroscopic repertoire. Up 45 degrees. Cameras to the left, cameras to the right. B-51D drowning us all out. That's Janie. Some of the things that Diana has done in her time. British aerobatic team captain in 98, 91, 92 and 93. Chairman of the British Aerobatic Association from 89 to 93. And you don't become chairman without being very good at aerobatics. Look at the wind drift that is just setting in up there. Pushing over. Rolling in the climb. Diana also was the Woman of the Year Award from the FAI in 94. Royal Aero Club Silver Medal in 1996. Pilot Magazine Freestyle Challenge Trophy in Biggin Hill 2000. It's only something like 20 years ago that Diana, in 1980, she started to learn to fly. Then soon discovered aerobatics. Really too hard. 4-point hesitation goal. Very unusual. Well, I don't know what that's called. It's a move for a rudder, a slip and a turn on the climb. Complicated, I suggest. During the early part of the season, Diana can often be found just up the road at Headcorn with the Tiger Club, giving basic and advanced level aerobatic training to lady pilots and any other pilot who wants to learn aerobatics, of course. Well, that is a magnificent display by Diana Britton. And hold your thoughts, wait till she can hear it. When she gets out of the cockpit and waves, that's the time to give her a round of applause. She's wrestling with the aeroplane at the moment.
Look at the Mustang.
Joining later on to fly with the two of them will be escorting B-17 Sally B.
That's quite exciting, standing out at the airfield holding those poles with the flags. I remember years ago at one of the shows that I did up in North Wales, the team said they're going to do 3 passes and then we can clear off. So they did 3 passes, so we walked off with the poles, still upright, and the team decided to do a 4th one as we were moving back towards the crowd line. That was fun. Briefly. So, Gwen from the left. Perfect cross. Well, anyone not under there so far as the leader, and he just sorted that out. Richard Meredith, John Baston, and Glenn Richards. But probably the final run underneath the poles, the zoom by now. No, poles still staying up.
Got them stuck in the mat pouches and they're throwing them out with their hands.
Not the poles we've done tonight.
Not quite, not enough room in a curve. They're releasing from early. Try and get them to fly through the air and hit the target, but it's really sort of poke and hope with this.
In the past, like on horses, and it was vehicles driving up and down the runway on the way back. Now the balloon bursting, you can see the turbulence created by the turbulence. Oh, good shot, first one. The balloon against the blue sky. Hey! It's a 100% success rate so far. For International, a complete halt, thanks to Andrax.
So they'll brake to land now.
Taxiing out, just get airborne.
Great time watching the air show today. I hope you enjoy the Honda 2005 display. Look out now, dead ahead of you, you'll see the smoke going on as I run in to start the show.
There we are, the smoke is on, and as Will dives down with a few rolls, he'll do a 10G pull-up, and listen to the howl of that radial engine, uprated to develop 460 horsepower. There we are, demonstrating the phenomenal rate of roll, more than 450 degrees a second. An amazing rate of climb as well, more than 3,000 feet a minute. Now at the top, he levels off, closes the throttle, boots in the rudder, and puts the aircraft into a flat spin. See just how that nose whips round the horizon. Little flick on of smoke there. But he switches it off because it fills the cockpit. He recovers smartly with another final flourish of rolls. Now, on the horizontal, we'll sometimes use his rolls just to allow for the wind, so he's correctly positioned. And then climbing vertically, watch out for the vertical slow roll to the left, and the torque roll to the right. And talk us through it, Will.
Okay, Peter, so coming to the top of the vertical climb here, and it won't be the fact that I'm talking that makes this a torque roll, it's the torque of the big C-Neve engine and the prop torquing the aircraft around before I flick it over onto a downline and accelerate again.
So now down on the 45-degree line with a succession of rolls, and recovering. The next maneuver will look like...
And this is the difference, just watch what Will does at the top.
There we go, a tumbling manoeuvre using the gyroscopic forces and a huge three-bladed propeller. What's that manoeuvre called, Will?
I think it's called a roulade on a knife edge, if you like, Peter. But I think it's just really hard to fly.
So now watch as he climbs vertically. Here comes the 4-point roll. 2, 3, and 4.
And then over, Peter, for the fireblade flick.
Now this manoeuvre named after Honda's famous motorcycle. Watch as he puts the aircraft onto knife edge. Then flick rolls, knife edge to knife edge. There he goes. Flick roll, really a high-speed spin, from which Will recovers very smartly. Now on the vertical, another flick roll, this time a vertical flick. And see as the aircraft tumbles out of control on the top, just like a falling leaf. What's that manoeuvre called, Will? I'm saying nothing. I'll plead the Fifth Amendment there, Will, I think.
Very wise.
Now Will's doing the Honda BAR loop, looping the loop and rolling the aircraft 4 times as he does it. The clock pumping us very around today. -7 + 7. And tumbling the aircraft once again and recovering very smartly.
Okay, checking the height now, Peter, safe to pull through. As I come down, the cloud centre for the tail slide.
Now this is a good one for those of you with video cameras to follow. As he climbs up in the vertical, rolls and shows us the brand new Honda colour scheme this year, and then goes into the tail slide. And talk us through it, Will.
Okay, piece of power coming off now, airspeed dying away. Piece of wool on the wingtip changes direction, and I drop backwards like a dart, dropped on its tail, and out away from you on the B-axis, but don't worry, I'll be back.
So keep your eyes on Will, as Arnie Schwarzenegger style, he says, I'll be back. And he'll be back before very long at all. Watch as he arcs over the top, and now uses some of that height and speed into energy for these next tumbling manoeuvres on his way in. Look at that, there we go, nose over tail once again. Fortunately, a very good horizon today. So what's the next manoeuvre, Will?
Okay, next one, Peter, a crooked loop, just like all the loops that we've seen you flying over the years.
A crooked loop, he says, like all the loops he's seen me flying. I guess that's why he's up there displaying, and I'm just down here talking about it. And talk us through the next one, Will.
Okay, the windward now. 1, 2, 3, and 4 to inverted. And as I reach for the windward push by Diego's pushing about -5 in the cockpit now. A little bit teeny weeny bit uncomfortable there. G's dying off as I come over the top. And just lining myself up. And here goes, in go the controls, round I go. That one like being in the tumble dryer on full blast.
Like being in a tumble dryer on full blast, he says. But Will need not have any fears because the aircraft is very strong. The Russian Sukhoi Design Bureau, famous for their fighter jets, like the Sukhoi 27 Flanker. The Sukhoi 26 was ordered by the Russian government in 1984 with the express aim of winning the World Aerobatic Championships for the Russian military pilots. Successful, but it's still winning it. Unlimited level World Aerobatic Championships today. Built absolutely without regard to cost, the Sukhoi 26 is made of an exotic cocktail of carbon fibre, Kevlar, stainless steel and titanium alloys. It's stressed to an ultimate load factor of ±23 G, making it one of the strongest aircraft ever built. Now the Sukhoi 27's trademark manoeuvre was one called the Cobra, where it reared up like a striking cobra snake. Will's about to present our own tribute to that, which we call the Striking S2000. Talk us through it, Will.
Here comes, down on the low line for about 120 knots plus, the wind speed about 125 knots today. And as I come to ground centre, here goes the S2000.
There we are, that's a 12G pull-up. Very uncomfortable. Now watch as Will keeps the aircraft rolling, gradually increasing speed, clawing his way through the sky with that great big propeller. And just when you think surely he must stick the nose down to build up more speed, watch what he does. He actually pitches up. Then over on its back, and now once again keeping those rolls going. Will's legs pumping, just like being on a step machine in the gym.
Peter, the smoke you saw going off there because it uses about 15 horsepower of valuable engine that I need to get me going again. I'm accelerating now, let's just hope it'll fly. There we go, she flies. Okay, up Peter, just time for one last pass now, then I've got to land with the petrol. Hope you all enjoyed the show, and that will see you again at Woodchurch next year. I'll bring up for the parachute, here goes.
Yes, Yes, you heard Will right. He said he's going to perform the parachute, but don't worry, he's not actually going to abandon the aircraft. What he's actually going to do is he's going to stall it. Now, when the aircraft stalls, unlike a car, the engine keeps running, but it means that the wing has lost all lift. So there he goes in a micro loop, and throttle back. It's all gone very quiet down here, Will.
Very quiet up here too, actually, Peter. No airspeed at all on the clock, and the aircraft just sinking slowly under its own weight, and a bit of thrust off the engine. You can see the wing not flying at all. Now, the great thing about this aircraft is, unlike any other piston engine aircraft, when you want to recover from this manoeuvre, you just open the throttle, and the thing's got so much power it'll hover like a Harrier. There you go, completely stationary. In fact, I'm actually putting on altitude here. It is quite outrageous. It really is amazing.
There we are, ladies and gentlemen. You won't see any other piston engine aircraft perform a manoeuvre like that. Look at this. This must be the hover of the season. I never see him stay in that place for so long. But eventually the laws of physics and gravity have to take over, and he has to roll away. But he will be setting the aircraft up for one final pass for those of you with cameras. A great one as he comes in on the knife edge to show the brand new Honda colour scheme this year.
Right, Peter. So, as I said, just a technical time for me to land for fuel. Hope you've all enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next year. Bye now.
Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that you not only enjoyed that amazing display of flying, but also having Will talk us through the manoeuvres as he was doing it. Here we are, a nice one for you photographers. Do give him a wave, kids. He might see you as he looks up through the cockpit. There we go, in his second year flying under Honda colours and celebrating the 40th anniversary of Honda in the UK. And as well as getting those world records for the ribbon cutting and the logoing this year, he's also been an award winner on previous years, the Brighton Trophy in 2002, for the best air display at Biggin Hill. Biggin Hill Air Show, September 3rd and 4th this year. He won the Boeing Trophy at RAF Waddington in 2003 for the best display there, and the Royal International Air Tattoo last year. And then there was Guinness World Records at the Air Tattoo this year.
Allee, kom op Danny.
So, fantastic display.
You want to
One of the displays that the Honda Dream Team are doing today. So we'll touch us down now. They have a very short landing run. I'll hand you back to John from the local commentary team. But please show your appreciation for Will Curtis and the Honda Dream Team. Well, thank you, Pete, and thank you, Will. And as Pete said there, when Will shuts that big engine down and opens the cockpit, please do give him a round of applause. Into the hover above us. We just saw Will Curtis hovering using the power of his engine. On the storage, he's using it just for pure lift. Very high angle of attack there, flaps down, those wings generating a huge amount of lift. Means the aircraft can fly extremely slowly. Makes it very, very good for artillery spotting and also, as I said, for landing in very short spaces. In front of us, built in the 1930s, telegraph company in the United States, has success with the B, C and D light planes, which are built for private use. When World War II broke out, the RAF put at least 100 of these aircraft into service as liaison and observation aircraft. They called them the Oster 1 initially, powered by a Blackburn Cirrus Minor 1 engine.
I've got a picture of
With
it.
the war progressed on the air. What we think today is the Oster 5. Artillery spotting, just as the Oster was, providing some allies. The Oster known as the AOP, or Air Observation Post. Still various design changes which optimise them for different military roles. Some of them powered by Gypsy Major 7 engines, that's the Mark 6, which appeared in 1946 with larger fuel tanks and longer landing gear legs.
Look. Is he doing his own commentary?
It's going slow enough for you, so you should be able to.
This particular example, work number 1827, registered as Golf Bravo Papa Hotel Zulu. Post-war, it was used by the French Army de l'Air, designated as an MS 500. After its military use, it was re-engined with the Jacobs radial, becoming a cricket and used for glider towing. So Dave, now pulling the nose up, just bringing the throttle back, flat down, getting the aircraft as slow as you possibly can with a really good headwind. You'd be able to hover that today. We've only got a few knots of wind, so he's flying absolutely as slowly as he possibly can. You can see if he was doing that a foot or 2 feet above the ground, all he'd have to do is be close to the throttle and land and stop at virtually no distance at all. So Dave's cleaned it up now, put those big flaps away. More power. Smoke on now, installed into smoke generating equipment. Given the impression that it's been hit by ground fire or attacked by another aircraft. Of course, the problem with these airplanes is, although they may have been wonderful in the ability to be able to fly slowly and operate out of remote strips, if they were bounced by hammered aircraft, hammered fighters, they really didn't have very much to flow. 20% of the wing's leading edge. On the flat, had nearly 40% of the total wing area, and that is a huge amount of extra lift.
Hey, Mum, let me see Honda.
He also works for the Civil Aviation Authority. He flies the Tiger Moth, based at Headcorn. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the next item is the Yak 52, two-seat aerobatic advanced training aeroplane. Up on the 45 degrees. Down that into the wrong way. Drop it nicely, neatly off the threshold. Very nice polished display by the Yak 52 at tip box.
I've seen a beach club. No, they go like this straight to there. I was the Tango Mike
This is a full-seat, low-wing cabin monoplane. It's designed by William Messerschmitt. As a response to the 1933 German Air Ministry requirement for an aircraft to participate in the Challenge to Tourism International Air Race of 1934. Days when governments sponsored such things. This was the first aircraft of its size to use all-metal stressed skin construction, and it was very advanced for its time. In fact, the experience gained by Messerschmitt in developing this aircraft ultimately led to the most important German fighter of World War II, the Messerschmitt 109, which was the main Luftwaffe fighter during the Battle of Britain. James got quite a busy day today. He's not only displaying here, but also up at the Shuttleworth collection at Old Warden. The particular aircraft is actually a Nord 1002, manufactured for the French Air Force in 1951. Actually the same aeroplane, but just built under license a little bit later. When they restored this aircraft, they found out that most of its components had in fact been produced during 1942, so it's likely to be a genuine World War II Messerschmitt Bf 108B2. Spitfire and Hurricane are taxiing out. This aircraft is finished in desert camouflage to represent KGEM, one of the only two aircraft operated by the Sonderkommando Flight in North Africa during the spring of 1942. He's a commercial pilot, currently Hawk Sidley HS-125 executive jets.
Win the cloud book competition.
He's a type-rated examiner and training captain. Routes mainly around Europe, occasionally North America and Africa.
No, but you've got to get the airplane inside.
Where this aircraft would have been based in service. Flies mainly VIP passengers as his day job, but he's previously flown the Airbus A320 and 321 and the Gulfstream 5.
Just press down hard.
No.
James gained his private pilot license in 1984 and the commercial pilot's license.
Yeah, you switch over now.
Built up his hours, as many do, instructing. He got his commercial pilot's license in 1990.
Good break.
Squadrons of Hurricanes were in service at the start of the Battle of Britain. Many more of them, about the 19 squadrons of Spitfires were in the Battle of
I've
Britain.
got this one.
They entered service in the late 30s, 35, 36, something like that, with 111 Squadron at Northolt, 111
Got a picture,
Squadron.
Dad. Doesn't that look ding ding?
Over 14,000 Hurricanes were built.
That's more of a cloud. Oh, that was too far away.
He is here signing his books, and he will be at Headcorn next weekend to the Proms. Squadron was awarded Fighter Command's only Victoria Cross for attacking an enemy aircraft after
after his aircraft had already caught fire.
Where, Dad?
No, they only get so much, magic left.
It's a great view. That's a
Oh, look.
I want to find a great beautiful day. Oh, look, I didn't make I'm sure you don't want this one. Oh, yeah.
On these displays. What are they looking out for now? With smoke on. You can see now the smoke coming from the two left-hand engines there. That was fitted the only B-17 in that movie that had the smoke generators fitted. And she flies now on the display circuit and is a regular at air shows both here, Duxford and Biggin Hill.
I want to take a picture.
Have a nice time. See you later. Again, Tom.
Prototype took only 180 days. First flight, January 1944. Only delayed by the delivery of the engine. Now this is the two-seat training version. First flew in March 1948, and it was a development of the fighter. Like its single-seat fighter counterpart, the T-33 also saw service in Korea, and production only ceased in 1959. red sparrows, the chipmunks, are taxiing in front of us. Get to 40,000 feet in 15 minutes, and it tops out at about 43,000 feet. The aircraft also has a range of 1,200 miles. Climb at 3,400 feet per minute, and has a useful range of 700 miles. Service with the RAF in a number of guises. The initial ones didn't have ejector seats. This
Give it here.
Aircraft to exceed 400 miles an hour in level flight. Chance Sport FG-1D Corsair. Also had the biggest and most powerful engine and the largest propeller of any fighter in history when it first flew in 1940. fantastic. You can really feel the power as Pete Kinsey pulls the aircraft right up over the top of a loop on the B axis. This aircraft operated by the Fighter Collection out of Duxford.
Yeah, we'll leave that behind.
Demonstrating once again this afternoon, as many of the pilots have, that these big, purposeful fighting aeroplanes, when flown properly, can be extremely graceful. We're seeing a lovely display of aerobatics here to end what has been a fantastic air show. The engine providing all that power for these manoeuvres is a 2,300 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R2800 32W. That's an air-cooled 18-cylinder radial engine.
Be careful, she'll pass me, Lewis, I've got you this.
And this is the only surviving example of that batch of 430 still flying.